Okay, so what's in a name? Well, that's exactly what a number of pro sports teams are asking right now. The Kansas City Chiefs will not be changing their name anytime soon. The organization's president said they are keeping it, but they are retiring their mascot, a horse named Warpaint. Of course, this all follows the news last week that the Cleveland's baseball team has rebranded. They are no longer the Indians. Now they are the Guardians.
Guardians.
They made, yeah, Albert. They made the announcement in this slick video narrated by Tom Hanks. Take a look.
We protect what we've earned and always defend it. Together we stand with all who understand what it means to be born and built from the land. Because this is the city we love and the game we believe in. And together we are all Cleveland Guardians.
All right, that's your new team. What do you think?
I love it, love it, love it. Just because I always like team names that go along with the city. And I don't know if we have the picture, but there's a bridge. It's called the Guardian Bridge. That's when you're going into the city of Cleveland. Wow. So that's actually where the logo is taken from and where the name is taken from. And if you look at the second half of Guardians, it does have the D-I-A-N-S from the former name Indian. So it does keep a little bit of the history and the tradition for those that want that. And I know people push back on any kind of history, but you know, the Cavaliers, I believe back when my dad used to watch basketball, they were called the Cleveland Spiders. Like, the names change and evolve over time. So I'm completely on board with it.
Before you respond, both of you, we're getting a lot of comments. Okay, first of all, the name doesn't take place till next season. But Mark says this is such an ignorant move. Using the Indian moniker doesn't denigrate Native Americans, it elevates them. C. Wally on Twitter says Yankees offensive to all Northerners, Angels offensive to all in heaven, Giants offensive to tall people, baseball becoming offensive to many people now. What would you say to that?
There's some points being made there. It's just, where do you draw the line, right? Obviously, people were upset about the Indians. They changed it. But if you say the Chiefs for another one, they're not using Warpaint anymore, but they're keeping their name. That's not putting down Indians in any way, or Native Americans, I should say, in any way. I'm not Native American, so I can't really speak on that. But it's just, where do you draw the line? The Toronto Blue Jays, all of a sudden I'm in depression and I don't like to hear the word blue, and now that's a trigger,
like,
so you have to change
I hear you, but
the name.
let me just say that's apples to oranges, right? Because one is a group of people that have been marginalized and one is a feeling, and you can't put those two together, right? Like, you can't just say like the Blue Jays versus the Indians.
Of drawing a line.
I know, but the example is incorrect. But you can't put those together and compare those when a group of people says.
Then use the Chiefs example. That's not being.
Fair. I'm saying I think you depend on where the line is by asking the people in that community if they're insulted by it.
And they're also split. I did research just like any other community. They're also split. Some of them say no, that's not offensive, and there are people that say yes, it is offensive.
I would go. All I'm saying is go to the source when you're asking about the line. Don't go to anyone else. If you think it's denigrating or elevating, you're not a Native American. I would stay out of this one.
And I know we're getting bogged down in the kind of just racial lines, but this also goes into violence. The Washington Bullets changed their name to the Wizards because they tried to get rid of the violence. Jeff, you and I are college football fans. We were old enough to remember when the Oklahoma-Texas game used to be called the Red River Shootout, and they changed it to the Red River Rivalry because they didn't like the violent overtones. So there was pushback then, and now no one thinks about it when they play every year. So things do evolve and change, and I think when it initially happens, everybody will be like, what? And in 3 years, they'll be like, hey, did you see the Guardians game last night? You know,
I like the Guardians.
Change.
That's cool.
Yes. Plus, Guardians of the Galaxy just dropped.
Was that not just like the coolest movie ever?
I never saw it.
You didn't?
It didn't just drop.
Oh, it's so
Anytime
you,
I see
Albert.
a talking squirrel, I'm busy, Sam. I can't.
So you, and I'll tell you why in the break.